Hey Radnor runners! It is almost race day and I'm really looking forward to running virtually with all of you guys. In the next couple of weeks, we really want to focus on recovery and rest. Definitely on days that we're not running, but even on days that we are doing our runs. So I know some of you are going to start to taper down a little bit in the last week or two. Today I'm going to walk you through a couple of yoga flows just to keep those hips nice and loose, and we're also going to try and strengthen the outer hips a little bit. We're going to do a little low back stuff today. So find a mat or a cozy piece of floor and we'll get started. So we're actually going to start in an all fours position. And just make sure that your hands are right underneath of your shoulders and your knees are right underneath of your hips. And I want you to take those elbow creases and spin them forward and give a little slide back towards the hips with your shoulder blades. So super long spine here. We're going to breathe through cat-cow a few times. So when you inhale, we'll tip the tailbone up, lift the heart space, and as we exhale, we're going to round over and bring that belly button in all the way up to the sky. And on your inhale, we lift tailbone and chest. Careful not to crunch the neck back. And on your exhale, we round the spine, tucking that tailbone, letting the head be nice and heavy. Be careful we don't shift. Stay nice and centered. And you're going to move with your own breath timing here. So you can go a little bit faster than me or a little bit slower than me. You want it to feel nice and natural. Taking deep, full breaths. We'll do one more round. And then come back to neutral. We'll take a child's pose. And I like to bring my knees to the outer edges of my mat and my toes together. And then send my hands forward a bit and press my hips straight back and then down. So I get a nice lengthening feeling in the lower back. Use your exhale to relax into this nice deep hip stretch. And since we're starting to warm up, we're going to keep those arms active here, pressing into the palms, keeping the elbows lifted. And you can let your head relax to the mat. Nice deep breath into the low back. And then we're going to slowly rise back up. Take the knees underneath of the hips. Leave your hands right where they are. We're going to tuck the toes and find a downward facing dog. I encourage you to keep those knees very soft. So I'm not even going to think about straightening my knees for this first one. Just finding a little length through the spine, keeping the head nice and heavy, and keeping those shoulders and arms really strong. And we breathe, and we're not going to let the ribs completely pop open here. We're lifting the hip creases up and back. On an exhale, use those abdominals to help you shift forward into a plank. We're going to hold our plank for a breath in. And then on our breath out, we're going to bring our left knee as far forward towards our elbows as possible, warming up that hip flexor. Inhale, take the leg back, and exhale, shifting back into your downward facing dog. Sinking those hips. Inhale to shift forward. Exhale, we're going to take the right leg forward to the elbow. Inhale to come back. And exhale, lift those hips. Let's do that again. Inhale. And exhale, left knee forward. Inhale back. And exhale, lengthen that tailbone high. Starting to warm up the hips here. And taking that knee forward on the exhale. Inhale and exhale. And we'll take our knees down to the mat. And if you want to take a child's pose, now's a good time to do that. You can keep those knees together this time, or you can take them out to the edges of the mat. Take a big breath into the low back. And a nice relaxing exhale. A little twist for the spine here. We're going to take the right arm and thread it underneath of the left. I'm lifting my hips slightly for leverage. I'm going to press into this left hand as I reach and drop my right shoulder towards the mat. So we're getting this big stretch on the back of the right shoulder and a nice big spinal twist. And you can relax your head. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, we're going to unwind and just pause for a second here in center. And then we'll take that left arm underneath the right, lifting those hips a few inches, spiraling towards the right side, pressing into the right hand, allowing that left shoulder to stretch. And we'll slowly unwind and reach center. We're going to take it back up into a downward facing dog, tucking those toes. Using that strong exhale, strong core to lift those hips up and back. And let's do a little pedal out here. Being careful not to lock the knees, plugging the shoulders into the back. And breathing down the backs of the legs all the way into the heels. And then we'll pause, bring a little weight into the heels, check in with the core. On your next inhale, we're going to float the left heel up to the sky, trying not to twist or shift anything else. On your exhale, we'll bring it all the way forward, bringing that left knee towards the left elbow. So a little bit of hip opening here. Inhale to stretch way back up. And exhale, same thing. Knee to the left elbow. Inhale one more time. And exhale. Tag the elbow. And then just step that left foot to the outside of the left hand here. And if you need to use your hand to wiggle that foot forward, that is a-okay. Back leg is nice and long, and we're just going to take a little shift forward and back here. Press into those hands and see if you can slide this front leg back into a plank. And we'll flow through a little modified vinyasa, nothing too crazy today. Bringing those hips in line with shoulders and knees, inhaling to lengthen the spine. Exhale, we'll lower down, think chin, then chest, then belly. Roll the shoulders back here at the bottom, and take a little press up. Exhale, relax back down. And then we'll press back up to our downward facing dog. Pedaling out those feet for a moment. Inhale the right heel high. Exhale, knee to the outside of the right elbow. Inhale to stretch back. Exhale, shifting forward, super long spine. One more time, all the way up to the sky on that inhale, and exhale. Pause for a moment, and step the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Square off those shoulders and hips. Lengthen that spine, and take that little shift forward and back. Keeping the back leg active and engaged. Still warming up those hips, getting a nice deep hip stretch. Pause here, press into the palms. We're gonna slide that right foot back to our plank. Knees come to the mat. And we shift forward on our inhale, exhale. Lowering all the way down, roll those shoulders back. Take your inhale here this time. On your exhale, little press. Inhale, lower down. And exhale, just take it back into a child's pose. Come back up to all fours. Take a moment to really center yourself, making sure that those shins are parallel to one another. The knees are only hip distance apart, no further. Working on the outer hip here, which improves running posture and your stride. Press into both hands and your right shin. On an exhale, we're going to take the left leg and just open it up, swing it out like a door. Inhale back down. Not the most flattering yoga pose, but after a few reps, you're going to feel the outer hip really start to light up, which is exactly what we want. We don't use this muscle a lot when we run, but it's really important to keep this muscle strong so that we have a more efficient stride. We protect our low back, we protect our knees. It goes up the chain. Strong breathing, we'll do 3 more. And last one. And then we're going to do a really big circle with this left leg. So we're going to send the leg back to hip height. Open up the leg to that position where we just were, and then keep that circle going. Try to tag your shoulder, then your elbow, and then brush the knees together. See if you can keep your spine long, those arms pressing you away from your mat. Big circle. And one more time, hip height, all the way out to the side, and knees come together. Take a second to come off of the wrist, give them a little roll. I know we've done a lot on all fours today. We'll take a moment to stretch out that left hip that we just worked. So send the leg back, toes on the floor, and just press into the heel a little bit. We're going to cross the left leg as far over the right leg as possible, and then glance towards your foot. So big side body stretch here. Take another breath in. And then on your exhale, we're going to slide your left knee behind your right knee. And then just use your hands to shift back. You should feel a big release on that left hip. And it's okay if your right knee pops off the floor here. Breathing. Using that exhale to melt back. And then slowly, slowly shifting forward. Uncrossing the knees. And doing a little shift side to side if you need to wiggle out a little bit. And again, if you need to come off the hands, give them a little roll. Go for it. We'll take the right side. So get those shoulders set first. Nice long spine. Inhale here. Exhale, just lifting that right leg up as far as we can, keeping a 90-degree angle at the hip and at the knee. And trying not to shift anything else. That's the hard part. That core is going to kick in. I'm going to feel those obliques working here. Using strong breath. And we'll do 3 more repetitions. And last one, big lift. and bring it on in. Come off the wrists if you need to. Give them a little stretch this way and that. And then we'll do those big hip circles, 5 big circles. Inhaling the leg back. Exhale, knee to the side, to the shoulder and elbow. Send it back on your inhale. Exhale forward. Trying to create even bigger circles with each repetition. 2 more. Here we go. Stretch all the way up. And 1 more time. And bring it on in. Take the right leg back, press into the heel, and then we'll cross it way over the left, glancing towards that right foot, stretching through the right side body. We'll tuck right knee behind left, use those hands to shift back, and stretch out that right hip. With that exhale, relax the hip muscles just a little bit further. When you're ready to come out of this hip stretch, slowly come back up to all 4s. And we're going to finish with a little stretch here in a cross-legged position. So whatever leg on top that feels the most natural. Just make sure that you're seated nice and tall. You can feel those hip bones on the ground underneath of you. We'll roll the shoulders back here at the top, sitting nice and tall through the crown of the head. We'll take an inhale. On your exhale, walk your fingertips forward. Think about reaching your heart forward. And then we're going to collapse over the legs very gently, very slowly. You should feel a nice big stretch on outer hip and low back here. Just let the back of your head melt towards the earth. Take a big inhale and a big exhale. And slowly roll it back up when you're ready. Runners, I'm super excited to run with you in our virtual 5-mile Radnor Run race this year. If you have any requests for workouts for the upcoming weeks or any recovery stuff that I haven't covered yet, please comment below or message us on Facebook. We would love to hear from you, and I hope you all have a great week.